Go live every day, sons of bitches. It's me, Schizophrenic. I'm streaming again. It's happening again. I know you thought it was going to be over. Yesterday be the last day. Surely he won't come back after that. Well, bitch, I'm back. So's Joe.
Hi.
It's Sunday, the 4th of August. August. Doesn't that mean, like, very noble? Isn't that the word, like... It's so august. Isn't that a what is that called? A
Descriptive.
Adjective, yeah. The very noble and august institution. Is that not correct? Am I making that up? Lils is here. Hello, cult leader. Hello, Lils. Thank you for coming back to the cult. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late today, but I slept in. I slept a lot last night. It feels very good. Right here I have my very cherry cola. And I also have my Bing and my bong right here. Today we're smoking the cheap ounce from Live Well in Denver. GS.
Grape Stomper.
Grape Stomper, you think? Sativa Dominant Grape Stomper. We'll see. It's cool, says Lil. Good. When did you find us, Lils? Did you find us just yesterday? Or did you know about us? Because I think the first I saw you was yesterday. Is that correct? Yesterday was fun. We were talking to City Country. Meridian Heights is here. Good morning, Meridian Heights.
Morning.
Welcome back to the show. Meridian Heights has not missed very much of our season 5 streams, except for when their car has broken down.
Oh.
I wonder how things went with Lollapalooza last night. I wonder how the conversation with Jack Black went in the town. Samau2 is also here today.
Hello.
Lil says, no, I've been following you for 2 years. Well, thank you very, very, very much. Your support is very kind and generous. We are getting more and more followers now, Lils. I'm going out on the street and telling people specifically about our 1,000 subscriber goal, and the algorithm tells me that helps, talking about goals like this. I enjoy your public sermons. Thank you very much. You enjoy when I get in public and tell people what they're doing wrong, like when I chastise the Christians generally to no one in particular, or do you like the ones where we find a person to engage with us and have a conversation with a real world believer and talk like that? Which are your favorites? Do you have a favorite video? If you don't mind thinking about it and letting us know, because we don't really had a plan. We kind of have a plan right now. But if you've been following us for years, you might be thinking, you really are sort of willy-nilly, sort of capricious in the things that you do. And yes, that was what we were aiming for, capriciousness, a very large backlog with lots of things that people could like and lots of things that people can dislike. And now we're sort of trying to serve the algorithm, as it were, try to get those views, because if this crazy thing that I've been enjoying doing for 1,000 days can turn itself into a bill payer, can pay some of my bills for me, and I only have like $1,000 a month for bills, then I think we can have a really good time around here. So I'm not asking you for money right now, Lils, because obviously I was trying to say that your participation is kindness enough to help me keep going. But when we get the money, we're wondering what we should put it to. Lil says, the fact that you show Christians that Jesus was not perfect. The one where you tell people that Jesus was disobedient by running away from home. Yeah, nobody really seems to grasp that one. No one really seems to understand that if Jesus were a perfect person, he would have preemptively gone up to his mother and said, now I know you'll worry for 3 days in a row if I don't tell you this, so let me just say, now that I'm a 12-year-old human, I have achieved the age of manhood, and I ain't living with you anymore, so I'm going to stay here at the temple talk to these assholes. You go home with my stepfather. He knows how to make the chairs and stuff. Another way that we can tell that Jesus was not perfect was the very definite lack of perfect furniture coming out of Nazareth during the years, or between the years of 12 to 30. He should have been making some really good tables, shouldn't he have? He should have really revolutionized what chair meant. And fucking Nazareth was not the center of chair production.
Furniture by a
That's right.
demigod.
Yeah, of carpentry or cabinetry. No one was like, this door just never squeaks, but Jesus makes really good stuff, eh? Like, there's no reports on that. If the one about the mum's not convincing, I'm not sure the one about the furniture is going to be convincing. I don't think I'm going to use that one much with believers. Samad, who says, country city, not quite here yet, I guess. Oh, do pardon me. What I have right here is something that we can listen to. I was gonna say, while we wait for everyone to get here, but look, everyone's here already. How very, very exciting.
Yeah.
But we're going to listen to it anyway.
Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. Ground control to Major Tom. 7, 6. Commencing countdown, engines on. 3, 2. Check ignition and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade, and the papers want to know whose shirts you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in a most peculiar way, and the stars look very different today. For here am I sitting in a tin can.
So, yes, David Bowie. I was an active street preacher when we lost David Bowie. I have yet to come to full terms with his last album. I'm sort of quite worried about it. I'm worried I'll see things I can't unsee, if you know what I mean. When we lost him, I preached for a while about him, about how we all need to be a little bit more Bowie, because he's not doing it for us, right? We've lost so much Bowie in this world, and you know, we're gonna have to pick up the slack, you and me. So let's all remember to be a bit more Bowie, because this world really needs it. He was a great man, great prophet, said some interesting things, said some really good things. Yeah, we listen to a lot of Bowie around here, especially during the non-propaganda side of things. Let's see what we've got here. Are you ordained through the faith? Asks Lils. Yeah, I am. I've got my certificate of ordination right here. I carry around my card. I am number 219-741 in the register of the Pastafarian Church. My certificate of ordination here is signed by Prophet Bobby Henderson himself.
On May 2nd.
Yeah, May 2nd, 2016. Made out to schizophrenic me. Shh. It's got a golden fucking stamp on it too. It looks rad. And I do carry around with me, it's affixed to my vest right now. I carry around my card right here in my vest pocket. Try to show it to as many people as understand what I'm talking about as I can. And I also had one when I was a Mormon missionary. We were looking at that the other day. I had a 2-year version of what I've got now that says that I was ordained to preach the gospel of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So I've got quite a collection growing here. I don't know if that fully qualifies me to perform wedding services in Colorado, but I know it definitely allows me to be your shaman while you're eating psychedelic mushrooms in Denver, because they're totally legal in Denver now, recreationally. And if you need a Sherpa or a shaman or a guru to help you out, to be your wingman while you're seeing the sights that no one has seen before, while you're climbing the mountains that might drive you insane, I'd fucking love to walk those trails with you, help you decipher what the things you're saying are. Also, point out some sights that you may be too sort of focused
Or overwhelmed. Yeah.
overwhelmed to see. Do let me know. Meridian Heights says, Mitch would make a great carpenter. He hits the nail on the head every time. You know, my literal father is a much better carpenter than myself. My 2 sons sleep in a room that my father and I built with our bare hands, with nails and hammers. So we'll see. We'll see how long that roof stands, and that's how good a carpenter I am. I didn't change anything. I didn't change the world with my carpentry. So it wasn't miraculous. People aren't going to come see this. No one's going to be lining up to see the ramshackle. They're going to recreate it in 50 years and be like, this is where the prophet saw all his visions, right here in the ramshackle. Put the guitars up on the wall, recreate it. Don't forget to put the blankets on the ceilings, We'll talk about that later, I suppose. Right here in this corner, there'll be like, and this is where he did the streams, this very location. Lol, lol, lol. So, let's see. No, and so my answer is no, I'm not a great carpenter. My dad's much better than me. I'm fine. A Cup of Plate says, oh yeah, it's talking about Bowie, and Meridian Heights says their appreciation of the Bowie. Meridian Heights says, welcome to the cult. I guess you all know why you're here. My name is Tommy, and I became aware this year. That's nice. That's a quote. That's a reference. Meridian Heights says, my old band covered this song a long time ago. It's a super weird cover. Oh, super psychedelic cover. I know what you mean by weird. But our fans loved it because they were high. Lils asks, what made you become a Pastafarian? I suppose the only answer to that is Flying Spaghetti Monster made me do it. But the sort of I'll tell you right now the story of why I decided, out of all the religions that I could find on the earth and become aware of, why does Pastafarianism have everything I need in a cult? And I suppose it's the story of my religiosity throughout my life, and I'll just tell it all here just to fill in any blanks that anybody might have. If you've heard all of this before, my apologies. I'll try to keep it entertaining even if this is a story you've heard before. I was born a Mormon. Both of my parents are fifth-generation Mormons. They both have traced their lineage back. My father's male line goes all the way back to this guy named Samuel Young Webb, is that right? And he was a polygamist, and he walked across the plains on a handcart in the Martin Handcart Company, which is one of the ones that had to, hide in the snow for a while. Lots of people died in that one. This particular guy, whose last name is Webb, and that's my last name, and I'm a sixth generation removed from him. He was one of the few people, the 5 or 6 people who found the Donner Party. They came across what was left of the Donner Party and came to terms with that really happening. But he was actually headed east at the time, so he continued east because he was transporting a prisoner from the war in California, transporting a prisoner back to one of the military forts so that he could be court-martialed for what he did. And so that's the male side. On the female side, my mother's 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 mother's, all the way back 5 generations from her, 6 from me, is this lady named Sarah Squires, and she was also in a handcart company as they crossed the plains, and she gave birth to a young daughter named Echo Squires in Echo Canyon after they had holed up in the they were left too late. It's a tragedy that they survived. So I'm very, very Mormon. That's a short way of saying I was born incredibly Mormon in Arizona, and then my parents, my dad worked in oil, air quality, and so he moved out to California eventually. So I was raised in Santa Barbara, and then we moved down the coast a little bit. We were in Camarillo for a minute, and then we moved down the coast again. We lived in Torrance during my middle school years, and then we lived in Palos Verdes during my high school years, which is in the South Bay, south of Los Angeles, in between Los Angeles and Orange County. Right on the 405 there. 405 is my freeway. And I was very, very Mormon there, and I was also involved in the high school musicals. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I did music. I wrote music on my computer by myself in my room, did some sequencing, electronic music in the 90s, mid-90s. Grunge was huge when I was in high school. And then I went on my Mormon mission to New Zealand. And I liked it a lot, except for it really exacerbated my my manic depression. It exacerbated sort of those things that, because the Mormon religion is a cult, and it doesn't get any cultier than on the mission. Yeah. It goes full cult for 2 years on the mission. Yeah. And the mission is very much required reading for the Mormons, like the males. When I was growing up, they may have changed it very recently so that it's eased up a little bit. But it was very definitely all worthy males are called to go on a mission.
Yeah, it was a draft.
Yeah, for 2 years. And so I done my time. I did it in New Zealand, which was fucking beautiful, just incredible. Leaving New Zealand was a very big mistake. And I liked it because I liked talking to strangers about emotional subjects for some reason. There's just something about it that I like to do. I enjoy it. And so I had a lot of fun, but I was very, very depressed, and I couldn't wake up at 6:30, and so I thought, God hated me. So I believed it. I full on believed it. And so then finished the mission, came home, got married, sort of went Jack Mormon because, you know, it really, really hurts to waste your time in Mormonism, and your body sort of knows it, and so we just sort of rejected it. Sort of got things together enough to bless my kids in the church. You know, I really liked the rituals of it, like the birth rituals. And then around the age of 35, started smoking weed and really just sort of letting my mind be open to you know, other points of view.
Yeah, it was really, really helpful for that.
Yeah,
Different perspective.
and then we were watching Cosmos, and we like felt the Holy Spirit while we were high watching Cosmos, and like, that's a weird place to feel the Holy Spirit. And then it was time to put my kids into church, right? Time to get really serious about it, because if I'm going to decide whether they're Mormons or not, it's time.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I've got 3 kids, and there's only 2 of us, and so one of the kids would be alone in a room with the Mormons, and that's not what I wanted. And then I was like, well, what does that mean? And it's like, I don't trust these guys. And then I just tried to sort of figure out why I don't trust them. And I found out really quick. And so that's when I started seeing these other points of view. And so I looked at atheism really hard, because when Joseph Smith unraveled, that thing kind of unraveled all the way down to, I don't even think I believe in a God anymore. And so I was looking into, you know, the atheist experience and Christopher Hitchens and things like that. And then Dawkins said something about a teapot and Pink Unicorn and the Flying Spaghetti Monster, and then I started to look that up, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Because atheism seemed to me like throwing the baby out with the bathwater idea. It seems to be like, oh, it's all fake. I don't even want to talk about religion for the rest of my life. And it's like, no, I still want to talk about religion. Like, it still is as fascinating as it was when I was preaching, when I was selling it. When I was out in New Zealand and I was talking about it every day, that was fine. And you know, it didn't pay any bills or anything, but you know, they paid my bills. It was a weird sort of double indoctrination salesmanship thing they do. And so then I just was becoming fascinated with these ideas, and I was just watching these debates and conversations, and I found out about Anthony Matabosco around then, about how he is talking to people on the streets. I have some friends in LA that are stand-up comedians, like amateur stand-up comedians for Hobby Space, and I was like, what do you think about this? Do you think this is funny? Like a Pastafarian street preacher? And they were like, I guess. And I thought to myself, no, I think it's funny. And so then you can see me start trying it on YouTube. I start trying it, and it's a very, very angry thing. It's underprepared and angry, but it starts with the voice, and it starts with a pirate outfit, and poetry, and a book, and calling people sinners, and it's funny, you know, but it's like not funnier than it is sort of uncomfortable. And so I don't know if it'll ever do that, if it'll ever get funnier than it is embarrassing. But in the beginning it was much, much worse. And then it just works. Like, I'm able to I'm talking about things that I've never talked about before with people that I've talked to before, you know, like with my friends and I are talking about like the next part of this, and we can easily talk about the damage that these religions do to our gay friends now. Like I don't know if just the conversation's moved, if I've moved into a new part of the conversation, but like it just seems so easy to, with good faith conversationalists, move forward now. Because it's like, dude, you know I'm Pastafarian, right? And they're like, well, yeah. And it's like, cool. And that means, you know, like it just becomes a tool to talk about it, whereas an atheism seemed to be a tool to get out of it. Right, to shut up. You're not allowed to talk to me about Christmas anymore. Do not say Christmas, you know I'm an atheist. What do you want me to do this back? That seems sort of what atheism was for, was sort of a new game opposition, right? It's like, we can't play your game anymore. Whereas Pastafarianism is like, no, I like the old game, you know, because I really like religion. I like that, like, I hate a lot of things about what the Mormons said, but I cannot deny that I learned about music because I was bored in the sacrament meetings, and sitting right in front of me is a music book, and in the back of that they tell you a lot about music. They tell you about 4/4 time, they tell you about 3/8 time. There's some interesting things in the back of that hymn book, and and so that was very interesting. They turned me onto music. They had you singing from a very young age. They very much liked people who could play the piano, and I like music probably because of them. They very much told me that they were into families, and so it's probably because they did that I decided to have a family at a very young age, relatively compared to my friends. I had 3 kids by the time I was 30, and none of the other people from high school that weren't Mormon did that. So that weren't indoctrinated in some way, religiously motivated to have a family. And my family is the greatest source of my joy in my real and actual life. In my actual days, it's hanging out with these people. It's really a blast. And so I cannot deny that the 2 greatest loves of my life, right, family and music, were given to me by the religion. And so the religion can do good things. Yeah, maybe religion isn't religion unless it has one bad thing in it. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's what makes it a religion, is we're protecting a secret or something. I don't know. But
we've declared something a sin that is just part of the human.
Yeah. There's something. Maybe it takes a weird, abusive move to make a religion, to declare something normal a sin, to declare an out group, to call ourselves special, like some of these really weird religious moves. And maybe you have to have one, otherwise you're not a religion, you're just a bunch of people, you know? Like, I don't know, I haven't really figured it out yet. So, specifically Pastafarianism, because I think it's still relevant, I still think it's still happening, I think it's funny, and I think it keeps me in the game that I want to stay in. Because I still like talking to people in the street about it. I still am having fucking just the time of my life when I'm sitting there talking to those Jehovah's Witnesses, and right now talking about how religion has affected my life. Like, that was the story of my life affected by religion. Still, I find it interesting. I find it unbelievable that so many of our neighbors are so deep into the mythology and will violently defend their right to stay there. If you come at them right at that point in their life, you are definitely being aggressive, and they are going to fight back physically. And it's like, whoa, how did that happen? How did these words become so incredibly violent when other words that are much more violent are just hand waved away? But me saying Jesus lied to you, it feels like I just punched you twice in the face. And so how does that happen? Still fascinated by it. And so I don't want to be the atheist talking about religion. You know, I'm a religionist. I'm not an atheist. Because I do meet atheists and they're like, excuse me, you shouldn't be talking to me. I'm an atheist and you're a Pastafarian and we're on the same team. And it's like, no, dude, I'm not like you. I think that it's not okay to be an atheist because we're losing.
Yeah, you guys don't do active.
Yeah, you guys sit back and think that a passive voice is good enough. It's not good enough. Yeah. You've got to tell the people that they're wrong.
They're trying to out-nice the Christians.
Right.
They've been told that atheists are mean and bad.
And so the atheists are trying to prove that they're nice too. And it's like, why? Whose rule is that? It's the Christians' rule. How are the atheists following the Christians' rule? that you've got to be nice. You've got to out and nice the Christians. You can't. They're making it up. There's no such thing as nice. It's a made up thing so that they shut the fuck up and listen and do as they're told. It's just, anyway. I think I've answered your question in there somewhere. I think I've answered more than anything. Yeah, sorry about that. It's just a story there you got. I'd love to check out some of your music, Mitch. Oh, there's some on the YouTube. I'll find it. Yeah, it happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
This stuff is 20 years old, so don't, think of it as like a 22-year-old's music, not mine, right?
Or
So,
16-year-old even.
some of it, maybe not the stuff I published. I think the youngest stuff I published, I was 17. But I think most of it was No. Some of the stuff might be from 18. And some of it might be after the mission.
Really? Well,
Yeah, there was a little bit of time after the mission, before I got married, that I did a little bit more.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's right before and right after my Mormon mission. That's why it's so religious. No, it's not religious. Someone who says, have you ever seen Telltale? He's an ex-Jehovah's Witness who covers cults. No, I haven't. Is he on YouTube? I'll look him up. I do like these... Mato Fritz is here. Hello, Mato. I do like these online criticizers, religious criticizers. There's this Muslim, ex-Muslim guy called the Prophet, the something Prophet, apostate prophet, and he's really funny because he's so mean. Like, a lot of people, like we just said, they try to, when they leave, they try to be nice still, right? And it's like, cool, that's their rule for them, right? Stop following their rule for them.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't. Like, he's just not at all trying to be nice. Like, he laughs at the ideas and calls them stupid, and it's like, when they come up to you, when the Christians come up to you, like, oh yeah, Jesus said there will be mockers,
Yeah.
And so you can be like, okay, I'll try not to mock so that I don't make Jesus right. And it's like, no, Jesus said that because he knew the shit he was saying was mockable. That's how he knew.
Yeah.
All he had to do was say some bullshit and say, now they're going to tell you I'm lying. You see how it works? You don't see the magic trick there? He told
L. Ron
you...
Hubbard did the same
Yeah.
thing. Joseph Smith did the
Now
same
they're
thing.
going to call you a fool for believing this. But this universe was created by a flying spaghetti monster. So yeah, see?
One night when he was drunk.
Yeah, so that's,
And
it's an
he
easy...
did everything just as they should be.
easy trick to pull off. But my issue with atheists is, I bet I can get a Pastafarian senator before they got an atheist senator. How is that? How is that you're doing a good job? Jesus, get off your asses, atheists.
Yep.
Jesus. Yeah, would you please get out there and represent? Could you pick a representative and fucking give them your support? Good God. No. The way to be an atheist is to pretend that this game doesn't even matter. This game is killing people and burning the planet. It matters.
Yeah.
This is an important game. Like, I'm sorry it's a stupid game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you're playing against people who cheat. I'm sorry it's a moronic waste of time all around. But it's important.
Yeah.
Because it's killing people.
Yeah. Every next generation that's raised with a myth believer family is damaged, self-damaged.
Yeah, the Jehovah's Witness agreed with me when I said, if I had raised my kids in the Mormon church, even for good and loving reasons, I would have harmed them. And you're doing that. I said it to them enough times that they should understand my real and actual concern. They don't care, though. Because they know they're right. They said it a couple times, and I was like, and you could be wrong? And they said, well, no. I was like, right. There's an exception for you. When you ask me or a Muslim or a Mormon, you expect us to say, yeah, we could be wrong. And then you yourself don't. The one guy did, because, there were four minds there, and it's not very fair to accuse all of them of the bad behavior that one of them was was exhibiting. But why not? Don't they say they're trying to
they didn't correct
homogenize
each other ever.
Yeah.
They let what one said stand for all of them. So I mean,
Yeah, that was a big
yes, there were 4 brains there, but they were trying to show one God,
right, which
one
is
ideology.
right. Telltale is wonderful, says Lils. That is a double recommendation from people in my chat here, and so my interest is piqued. Maybe I'll go there and I'll be like, oh yes, I know this guy. I think that I will. It might be ringing some bells now. Apostate Prophet got banned from Twitter, says Sir Mao too. I can definitely see that. And oh my gosh, isn't it such a fucking surprise that the President of the United States is not banned from Twitter yet? Am I the only one who's like, actually, why not yet? Like, actually, obviously it's for the fucking views then that the President is not banned? It's because Jack fucking financially fucking is enriched by the hate speech of the President of the United States? Like, surely he has said bannable things on there. It is a private company. He's got to do it, and yet he doesn't for money. Like, where are we? Where are we right now? Is there a way back? I wonder. Good gracious.
Way back.
So yeah, Apostate. I'm not surprised that he got banned from Twitter. I'm surprised that he's still posting to YouTube if he is, because he's so critical, which I think is good. And he's so unapologetic, which I think is also so good. And he's so prolific. He just keeps on publishing, which I also think is very good. And it's just, he's going to be seen by the wrong people. People who care the wrong way about this. Eventually. Like, that's just how it works. And, dude, how much would it cost for a good lawyer to fucking get fairness here, right? Justice. How much does that lawyer cost? Because YouTube's not paying that much.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, in a capitalist society, which we're in, how is it supposed to work? How are good ideas supposed to be chosen? At each of our dollar bills is a vote. So, everyone's voting in bad faith because they've got many, many more dollar bills. If you only have one vote and it's got to fucking matter, you don't pollute the system. But the billionaires have billions of votes compared to my one. So they just fucking, what I want is what I get. Yeah, it's hard to.
This will benefit our company.
Yeah, it's hard to talk back to that.
Benefit our CEOs.
Anyway, let's vote third party, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Because everyone's still trying to say blue no matter what, and I'm saying, isn't that what we tried last time against this very adversary?
We did.
So you want to double down on the thing that didn't work. I just don't see it working. Am I the moron here? Am I the idiot? Because it feels like you're the people who refuse to see the patterns. Why not? Why won't you just look and see the patterns? It's easy. He's going to win. Because you guys are still trying to pretend that you're the good guys. You're not. You forced Hillary. You're gonna force a bad decision on this one. The fucking primaries are what are letting us down. We should have gotten rid of them before right now.
Yeah.
It should be over. Are the super delegates still around? Fucking please fucking tell me. We at least got rid of the goddamn super delegates. God fucking Christ. Guys, I'll be right back.
I've gotta take a little time to think things over. I better read between the lines in case I need it when I'm older. mountain I must climb. Feels like the world upon my shoulder. Through the clouds I see love shine. It keeps me warm as life grows colder. In my life, there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now. I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me. I'm gonna take a little time to look around me. I've got nowhere left to hide. It looks like love has finally found me. In my life, there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now. I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me. It's coming out. I wanna know what love is. Love that you feel inside. Want you to show me. I'm feeling so much love. Feel what love is. Oh, you just can't hide. Know you can show me. I wanna know what love is. Let's talk about love. Know you can show me. I wanna feel it. I wanna feel it too. And I know you can show me.
That is one of the poems that I have in my book of scripture here, a digital copy of which I think is available at our Patreon. I sing that one in the streets during my first year of preaching. I think you can find some of that during some of the very old classic stuff. Robin W. is in the chat. Thank you for joining us today. I Less Than 3 in Trolling has joined us again. Let's see where we are in the comments. Samoutu says, there's too much social taboo on criticizing Islam. Criticism of Islam is not criticism of Muslims as people, but it gets called Islamophobia all the same. Yeah, that conflation is a problem. Because it's coming from both sides. It's coming from the Muslims who are, and when I say both sides, I don't even believe in this both sides, left-right stuff. I don't think it's right. But
Correct.
on this side, you've got the Muslims, who are saying you cannot criticize us because you cannot criticize perfection. And then, for some reason, on the exact opposite side, it feels, we're getting that you cannot criticize them because that's like racism. And it's totally not. And so, I think I'm pretty clear on the streets when I'm talking that I'm not anti-Mormon, I'm anti-Joe Smith. I'm not anti-Christian, I'm anti-Christ. I'm not anti-Muslim, which are the people. I'm anti-Islam, which is the religion. And so we've got to change the word from Islamophobia, because that's what I have. Because I'm afraid of living in a country where Islam is the majority. I'm afraid of that.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that I will die because of that, and that people I love will die because of that.
Yes.
But I'm not afraid of Muslims. I don't have Muslimophobia, and those are different ideas. And so the word is the wrong word.
Yeah. The saints are the abused ones.
The saints are the abused.
Yeah,
There is
of
no
any
one to be
religion.
pitied more than the people inside the cult. The Jehovah's Witnesses on the streets are the ones who are losing their days, the ones who are sleeping, the ones who don't get to be here today. They slept through today while we woke and saw the butterflies and the rainbows, and we enjoyed ourselves and watched movies and cuddled and ate popcorn. They slept through it. So they are to be pitied. Yeah, it is for my family still stuck in the cult that I work. However, they're too defensive against anything coming from me. So I'll just help other people's families and hope that other people will help mine.
Beautiful.
Thank you, that's kind. Each of your dollar bills is a vote. Brilliant. That's also kind, thank you. Robin W. says, Super Delegates will be at the convention just in case nobody has majority. Dems rigged election and it backfired. Cheated Bernie, then blamed and continued to blame Russia. I don't know if I've heard it said so concisely, but yes, I agree. I agree completely, especially with what you said with the problem of blaming and then focusing the blame on Russia. Because sure, Russia is involved in swaying the elections, just like America has been involved in elections of other countries for a very long time. We're fucking all of a sudden we've never heard of such a thing. Okay, tell that to Cuba, right?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Or tell it to ourselves.
Yeah, so,
We can influence elections.
that's what I'm
Other
saying,
countries,
yeah.
oh.
So the point is, our democracy should be strong enough to withstand the pressures from outside influences. Not welcome them, say they're wrong, but be strong enough that we're not swayed by it, and we're not right now. We are swayed by it. Like, their bots show up in our Twitters, right? Like, it's like they are influencing the way Twitter shakes out, and they are influencing the way we eat our media, and they are influencing the minds of Americans, and our love of our country and our strength or our participation in this democracy, our responsibility for how this goes, should have been strong enough that we withstood it, and we didn't. So, this focus on Russia is totally misplaced. The focus should be on ourselves and why we are being swayed by outside influences when we know what it means to be American and what the fuck is going on. Why can't we talk to ourselves? How is it that we haven't overcome this language barrier in a country that really only speaks one language? Fucking money. We all speak money, and we can't talk to each other? What the fuck? What's wrong with us? I think we haven't been trying.
I think we have some fucked up definitions mixed in, is what's going on from religion.
Yeah, I think there's a lot
Or
of poisoning the world.
It's
Poisoning
stated
the...
with how much money you have. If you're poor, so many people, even atheists, think they deserve to be poor.
Yeah. Yeah, we believe that poor is a punishment. You deserve it. Like, you get it if you deserve it. And we believe that you only get it if you deserve it in this country. I have no idea why we fucking believe this.
Yeah.
I have no idea why anyone in this country is still willing to believe that this is a meritocracy. Right? I have no idea. I have no idea who's still pushing that.
Yeah.
Other than the people who fucking have money and want you to believe that it's because they are better than you. I don't know anybody who's telling it other than people with very selfish reasons for telling it. You know, it's not fucking people from Russia being like, we've done an independent study. This is my Russian voice. We've done an independent study and we've noticed that the most best country is America. We do wish we were like them. Nothing like that is happening. You know, only we say we're the best. So that's unfortunate. You know, when it's propaganda instead of a brag.
Yeah.
Right? I'd prefer it to be a brag. Our women are the best at soccer, from what I hear. I don't hear the fucking president bragging about that shit, do you?
No.
Best in the world is what I hear.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I hear.
That's really cool.
Yeah, not from the president do I hear this. It's hard to not talk about politics, eh, when you're talking about religion. It's really hard to see where that line actually
or
is.
capitalism, right?
Yeah, or
That's
capitalism, because they are sort of worldviews, competing worldviews, eh?
Yeah.
But we still have to have all of them in our head at the same time somehow. It's a very difficult puzzle we've got to solve with this limited amount of meat that we have. Very difficult. Mato Fritz is here. By the way, everybody lies, everybody now and then. Yeah, that's correct,
Yes.
including Jesus, including Mohammad. Yeah, lying is quite common actually, and we
Yeah.
should acknowledge this and allow it in others as well. We should allow it in ourselves, allow it in others, and I think that that we'll be able to do better. But there's a difference between, you know, lying a little bit now and then and sort of the reality denial that some people are capable of nowadays.
Yeah, we took that away from me. I used to lie to myself a lot.
Yeah.
That's how I created these blinders of truth.
It's the way to stay in a church.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
then when I smoked weed for the first couple times, I had to look at those
Those,
I could
they're
not
harder
lie
to maintain.
myself.
Yeah. Yeah. It is very, very difficult to be hypocritical. When you smoke the weed and you see both sides and you're like, oh shit, I'm not like the son of God. Like, I'm one of the people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm one of us.
Yeah, there's in one way.
Oh, there's a way for
Thousand
each of us.
ways.
And so, yeah, it's very hard to deal with the blinders that you've got to construct to stay within a cult when you're opening your mind with substances that push you right in the open mind button.
Mm-hmm.
They go bing. Hi, Robin, says Meridian Heights. Hi, 6 other people, says Robin. 7 other people, says I less than 3 trolling. Ha ha ha! Yeah, it's getting bigger. How there are 9 people in the chat right now. This is a congratulations us. This is
Yes.
a record, isn't it?
Thank you,
This is a-
Flying Spaghetti Monster.
What a blessing it is to be part of something that is growing and helping people and something interesting enough to listen to live and later at double speed. And I think that now we have come to Country City. It's good to see you here today. I'm sorry that it took so long to get here, but we were talking about Pastafarian stuff. So now I'll shake my head straight, because here is a Christian. We're going to talk about Christianity. Alright, Country City, we haven't gone over your comments from yesterday, but let's just not worry about them, eh? Let's start over today, Country City, with the thing... Oh, I can't stay on here long. Oh, shit, maybe we've already missed them.
Yep.
I gotta hurry up. I can't stay on here long. But before we all start and get brainwashed, or brain unwashed, on here, let's all put our spaghetti strainers on, get in a circle and join hands and sing Kumbaya. If you have time for a song, I would put a song on. It won't be Kumbaya, I think you'll like it a little bit more. You do tell me if you have time for a song, though. Lils, do you wish to see a Pastafarian run for office? Do I wish to see a Pastafarian run for office? Yes.
Fuck yes.
I will be that Pastafarian. I'll run for any office I'm available for. I think I would be good at it. I think I'd be a good representative of the people. I think that my job of Pastafarian Minestrone doesn't take too much of my time, and I think that there's a lot of crossover that we can do. Because, yeah, I think I'd be a very, very good person to vote for. And if I can get on any ballots this election, I will. We might need a lawyer to talk to first, so we might need some fundage before that, but, you know, I mean, things have changed in the last year. We've got a lot of sort of support from our
bell curve.
Yeah, from our people here out in the audience, you people, and from the production company that we use. We get a lot of time and hours from that company as well. They're very interested in what we're doing. So I think this is our year. I think 2019 is the year we're going to go big. I do wish to see a Pastafarian run for office. Yes. I-3 Trolling says capitalism, the religion of modern society. Absolutely it is. People who think it's not a religion, we need to come to terms with the definition of religion.
Yeah, why are they refusing to see that definition?
Right.
And it has to usually do with the blinders they've put on for their own religion.
Yeah, the people who don't want to call themselves cults, it's because they don't like the word cult. It's like...
Because they realize their religion fits all the check marks.
Right. I'm obviously a cult. I'm not afraid of saying that, and all the other cults need to behave this way. And none of them do. They're all like, I'm not a cult! And like, dude, everyone knows you're a cult, Mormon! You know? Like, everyone knows it but you.
Yeah.
Scientologist. Like, everybody looks at you and says, oh, fucking cult! And you guys don't know.
Yep. Catholic, Baptist.
Catholic. Yeah. Guys, you worship Mary for real? All the other Christians are like, what the fuck? Every other Christian is like, Catholic's not Christian. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Don't you know you're in a cult? Okay, down, capitalism, country, city is saying hello to everybody. Yes, okay, that's kind. Tune people on here, brainwashers, country, city. Eternal Father, bless our pastor, guide us with thy mighty hands, as Major Fritz. What a beautiful invocation. I'm going to, have I played this song yet today? I think I've not. Let's here is an invocation of my own, given to us by the great prophet Pat Benatar.
Many times I tried to tell you, many times I cried alone. Always I'm surprised how well you cut my feelings to the bone. Don't wanna leave you really, I've invested too much time to give you up that easy to the doubts that complicate your mind. We belong to the light, we belong to the love. We belong to the sound of the words we both falling under. Whenever we deny all the grace, for worse or for better, we belong together. Maybe it's a sign of weakness when I don't know what to say. Maybe I just wouldn't know what to do with my strength anyway. Have we become a habit? Do we distort the facts? Now there's no looking forward. Now there's no turning back when you say we belong to the light, we belong to the love. We belong to the sound of the words we both falling under. Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong together. Close your eyes and try to sleep now. Close your eyes and try to dream. Clear your mind and do your best to try and watch the palette gleam. We can't begin to know it, how much we really care. I hear your voice inside me, I see your face everywhere. Still you say we belong to the light, we belong to the vibe.
Alright, there's some words to ponder there. I think that if you do think about what she's saying and the words that she's trying to write onto your mind, right, without you even really noticing, she's trying to write something on your brain. And I think if you examine what she's trying to do, you'll feel a warmth in your heart. And I want you to remember that that's the flying spaghetti monster trying to tell you that we belong together. Alright, we've got I-3 Trowning says, atheism is a religion. Flying spaghetti monster is not a real religion. Our religion is not a cult. Annoying shit, myth believers say. Yeah, it's very hard to hear the same bad arguments over and over. Trolling mode engaged, says Mato Fritz. I'll go make some popcorn, says Meridian Heights. So yeah, Country City. Do you have a place to start the conversation? Do you want to talk about anything in particular? Otherwise, we'll continue preaching. You can listen to the sermon that we will be doing if you don't want to talk about anything. Or, of course, you are free to ask any questions, because I would love to answer any questions you may have about what Pastafarianism is, and what Pastafarianism isn't, and why you should become a Pastafarian today. And you can continue to be whatever it is you are in addition to being a Pastafarian. But when you feel like you want to be a Pastafarian, that is the baptism into Pastafarianism. If you've ever wanted to be a Pastafarian, you are. And so, let us know if any of the things that we say make you want to be a Pastafarian. Because only Pastafarians can say some of the things that we say. And one of the things that we say, our major dogma in this religion, our one and only dogma, is there is no dogma. And a lot of people take that very dogmatically, and it's really funny to see Pastafarians throwing the 8 I'd rather you didn't in your face like they are our dogma, when no dogma is our dogma. So it's very interesting to see sort of dogmatic Pastafarians. But
the beer volcanoes is Bobby Henderson's vision. It's
Bobby
so
Henderson told us
important
about the beer
to be
volcanoes. That's correct.
That's not every Pastafarian.
Maybe, right.
Yeah.
If it
We
doesn't
are all prophets
appeal to you,
individually.
then why don't you ask
Yeah.
Flying Spaghetti Monster what it looks like? You might see something different. Maybe it says more about Bobby Henderson than it does about heaven. Maybe Bobby Henderson is a kinky kind of guy, and we need to hang out a little bit, is what I'm trying to say. But maybe, there's a heaven with no beer volcanoes as well, if that's sort of your thing, if you think that's very, very important. Maybe there's bings and there's bongs, because I know there's some here, and this is a fucking heaven on earth around this place. So when I was a Mormon missionary, they go around in pairs, and one of them is always the senior companion, and one of them is always the junior. I mean, when you meet two of them, there will be a senior and a junior companion. And it's true, and I've only known one exception in my whole life, and I've known a lot of missionaries. Unless they're in, a group of 3, but there'll still be a senior companion. And so, first of all, one experiment to run with Mormons is to ask them who's the senior, and see if they try to avoid it, as if it's a secret. Because I think some of them do, and I find that to be such a very strange behavior. I was really capable of doing it when I was a Mormon, this very duplicitous thing of, when they'd ask me my name, I'd say Elder Webb, and when they say, what's your first name, I'd try as hard as I can not to tell them. And so I found it very strange to play these duplicitous games. I'll tell you anything except for my first name. Very, very strange, right? So that's a fun game to play with them. And then, but the more important thing that I was talking about right before that, it's probably lost to me. So, oh well, I'll make a note of it when I listen to this episode again and bring it up.
Yep.
Because right now I'm just going to bing and bong. I-3 Trolling has a question. This sounds good. What do you think are the 2 lost I'd really rather you didn't? I must confess that I'm afraid to study the 8 I'd Rather You Didn't any further out of fear that I'd take them a bit too dogmatically.
Or very quickly be able to want to rewrite them.
Yeah, I very much
That's what happens when I read them.
Yeah, I find them to be a sort of first pass. Like, the community was very, very small when they appeared. Is sort of the kindest way that I can say it.
Very first draft stuff.
Yeah, very first drafty stuff, and it's fine. I like it, you know, because the Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster was published a long, long time ago. Pastafarianism has come a long way since then. Many things have happened in Pastafarianism since that book was published. And so I'm not sure that the publishers of that book really sort of understood what they were starting. The Church of the Subgenius sort of grew and then waned, and I don't think that I don't think Pastafarianism is going to wane anytime soon. I think that some people sort of there's a perceived waning. But I think that's because they don't understand how globally this thing hit. Whereas the Church of the Subgenius had no global following. And the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster has the ability to begin anywhere around the world.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are weddings in New Zealand, and there are priests in Germany. There's people protesting the Pope in Ireland in the name of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. These things are happening, and Bobby Henderson had no idea at all. You can go ask him today, did you think? And he'll be like, fucking did I think? Would I have done this if I thought this? No, of course I didn't think this. And he was a prophet, so, you know, you can see how hard it is to see the future. And yeah, so as far as a force for good in this planet, I don't see a faster growing force for good in this planet than the Pastafarian church and cult. I think we really are going to change things. A lot of laws are going to have to go away because there's people in this world willing to call themselves Pastafarians in public, willing to have strainers on their head to say, I'm serious, we are serious, we are going to be heard, we are not too embarrassed to talk about this. It's important. These are our religious beliefs. You cannot put my children on a draft for illegal wars. They will not fight these wars. And more and more. I don't want to get too political again, but again, where do they cross? Aren't they all about our values? Isn't that the point? Is we are all humans, and we are motivated by our values and emotions, no matter how much we pretend we're not. I value this and this and this. Do our values align? How can you justify your values? This is what all our conversations are going to be. We hope that we can move on from them and be like, how can we make taller buildings? But it's like, well, it really depends on what your values are.
How do we make indoor farms?
Yeah, and then it really depends on what your values are. Do you value money? Do you worship the dollar bill?
Yeah.
Do you worship truth? Do you worship communication?
Yeah.
Do you literally worship a book? That's
Is
dangerous.
change exciting, or is it cost too much?
Are you afraid of the future? Do you want to walk backwards to 1950? Do you wish that you could be more racist than you're allowed to be right now? Good gracious.
Yeah.
What are your values? What is motivating you to? So I think that's politics. I think that's politics, and I think that's religion, and I'm sorry that they sound like the same thing to me. But, you know, if you vote for me and I'm elected, you know, I'll have lots of conversations on the public record about this very thing and be like, okay, cool, it seems like we're doing this. We'll get some fucking terms defined. Some terms that have gone undefined for fucking generations have not been responsible. Well, they said, we'll just use our parents' definition. It's like, guess what? Your parents didn't ever define it either. They fucking said, I don't know what faith is. I don't know the difference between knowledge and faith. I don't know what love is. And they need us to show them. We're willing to do the homework and figure out what this poetry means.
Yeah, and vote on these definitions.
That's right, and we'll take our values to the voting booths,
Yeah.
and we will change the world for the better so that it stops backsliding.
Yes.
That's right.
We should give end dates to corporations.
Yes, they...
Things should always be changing.
That's right. Like replicants, they should have incept dates, and they have 60-year lifespans.
Yeah.
That's right. If they want to be humans, then they've got to die. Because we humans die. And our wills end. And we cannot have 500-year corporations rotting this
more.
planet.
Because they do not look for changing and
They're-
becoming better. They're just more efficient.
They
and
are
more money.
immoral creatures,
Yes.
and responsibility lies here. And we cannot avoid that. We've got to say that the final say is us. And those that
Fuck
we
yeah.
give free will to. If we give it to the robots, if we say, tell me you love me, then they are with us.
Yes.
But our corporations are immoral beings, and we cannot give away the responsibility of morality to corporations that we know are immoral.
Yeah.
We've got to be the moral agents. We're the second Germans. The fucking problem with the Nazis is the Germans didn't take responsibility for them. They didn't say, this is a reflection of us, and then the Nazis didn't take responsibility for the murders. They said, I'm just following orders,
Yeah.
and the fucking guy at the top didn't even take responsibility for it. He says, it's for the fucking good of Germany. So everyone's selling away responsibility. Everyone in Germany was committing the same sin. Letting someone else make sure you're a responsible and moral human. You cannot ever do that. You must be the one who makes sure that you are the moral agent, or you are not a moral agent. You have sold it away. And why? So that you can sleep? So that you can sleep through the pain of this life? Well, you're not just missing the pain. Okay, you're sleeping through everything.
Yeah.
From beginning to end, you're gonna miss it all.
The giggles and the cuddles.
And the rainbows, it's really cool here. The rainbow is God's iris. He's staring at you. He's looking at how much fun you're having and being like, fuck, I wish I could, just for one lifetime, be like them. He can never be like us. He wishes. Samount who says, I think there's only 8. Yeah, I think Lesson 3 was implying that 2 got lost. It's a much more satisfying number, because 8 is 2 cubed. Yes, 8 is also the color of magic, right? 8 is a very, very important number in the prophet Sir Terry Pratchett's work. I don't know if you've read the Discworld, but 8 is the number and the color of magic. Octarine. Them again, it is perfectly symmetrical and appears to be his nudeliness meatiest of bowls. Says Lesson 3 trolling. Samount who says, and if you write it in binary, you get 100, and that's 10 commandments squared. Lesson 3 trolling says, yeah, maths, bitch. Lesson 3 trolling comes from a place where they spell tire with a Y, because in America, there's only one math, motherfucker. It's math. Yeah. I don't know why. I really don't know how to pluralize maths. But that's how they say it in England and everywhere else. They say maths. Mathematics. I say it in mathematics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very good at mathematics. What is the singular of that? Where is a math? Like, what would a math look like? Is that right? Is it even possible? Or is it just like always plural, like water? I have some water.
Right? There's
You
just
can't
so-
have an water.
Math is multiple things, so it can't be a singular math thing.
Maths are, I think, you'll
Uh-huh.
find. No, I have no idea. I was born in America. I can't figure this out. I'm gonna have to read a whole book on why maths is plural. Yeah. The bing and the bong. Well, I think that we lost Country City without him ever really sort of saying something we needed to respond to. Is that right?
Yeah.
He said some stuff on our comments, but I mean, I think if he wanted some of those read, he would have been like, I told you last night, right? I think he would have commented. I think he just wanted to be here with us, so that's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to see Flying Spaghetti Monster working within the hearts of even those who persecuted us most strongly.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they come and they listen to our arguments, they realize that they were told that we were monsters, but we don't speak like monsters. And so the person maybe they should just trust is the person who told them that the Antichrist would be a monster. Because I'm not anti-Christian, I'm anti-Christ.
Yeah.
I'm anti the lies that he told, I'm anti the hell that he invented to try to pressure you into doing what he told you to do. I think that's disgusting. I think if he had ideas worth listening to, he would have trusted that they would have done the battle themselves, in your mind. He wouldn't have to add fear and extra weight to them, because the truth of the ideas is enough to keep them ringing in your mind over and over and over. And I trust truth to smell differently in your mind. I trust your mind to tell what truth is. Because I must trust you to be a good steward of your mind. I can't be the steward of yours and mine. It's hard enough to figure out what the fuck's going on inside of mine. I've got my back turned to you, unfortunately. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my language. I'm trying to sort through it, knock down the sandcastle every day and rebuild it to make sure that all of these pieces are sound and good and strong.
Every day. Fuck
Every
yeah.
day it happens in mine own head. I wake up and think, oh shit, I've been doing what for the last 3 years? Oh god, fuck, I'm crazy! I'm a crazy person! Well, let's prove I'm not. And that's how I start every day. Another convert maybe, says I lesson through trolling. I think so. Meridian Heights says, I think CT likes us, won him over. I think so. I think our ideas and our values make themselves apparent and understood. I think it becomes obvious very quickly that I actually do worship truth and communication, and that I don't worship anything else, for I don't say it as often as I say it. And you are what you confess. We think we are what we think we are, and we're wrong. Confess what you are, and that's what you'll be. Confess it to yourself. Confess it to anyone. Because you are confessing something, and that's what you are. You're listening to it, and they're listening to it. So you better overwrite it with what you think you are. Confess what you think you are. Because you're saying something. You're hearing it, and it's subconscious until you control it. So I'm confessing that I'm a preacher of the cult of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. I believe that this is the religion with the best metaphor for what we should put in the gaps. There's going to be a God in the gaps. That's the way that our mind works. And that God must be Flying Spaghetti Monster. Or an equivalent undefined. And the problem is, your kids are going to try to define it. So make sure your religion doesn't live long enough for your kids to keep it going.
Yeah.
They're going to have to come up with a new undefined. Because theirs is going to be a little bit different from yours. You'll have filled in some of the gaps.
Yeah.
They'll have a different...
It's new in every generation.
Every generation throws a hero up the pop charts. And medicine is magical, and magical is art. Think of the boy in the bubble and the baby with a baboon heart.
Fuck.
And I believe that these are the days of miracle and wonder. Lasers in the jungle somewhere. Staccato signals of constant information. A loose affiliation of millionaires and billionaires and baby. These are the days of miracle and wonder. This is a long distance call. The way the camera follows us in slow-mo. The way we look to us all. Oh yeah. The way we look to a distant constellation that is dying in the corner of the sky. These are the days of miracles and wonders, and don't cry, baby. Don't cry.
Fuck. Poetry.
Yeah, that was Paul Simon off the Graceland album. Yeah, I would cue it up right now, but I don't have it. I have this. Let's listen to it.
side with me. Sunday comes and all the papers say Mom Teresa's joined the mob and happy with her full-time job.
Alright, well I haven't gotten to my notes yet again today, and it's 11:43 and we're going to wrap it up here in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Meridian Heights says it's hard to ignore infallible logic. It is, isn't it? Can we agree on that? It's hard to ignore it. That if we say it in front of people and we can tell that their ears can hear it, we can trust that it's hard to ignore. That they might be really good at ignoring things. Because, yeah, I see people practicing it all day.
Mm-hmm.
But a fucking sign that says Jesus lied is hard to ignore, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, infallible logic, just said, it's hard to ignore. And everyone else is just a mind just like you. You're a slave to the language that you have accumulated. You can only believe what your experience allows you to believe. And you can be an experience in someone else's head. And you can be really hard to ignore. The really logical things you say. Things like, I am exempt from the prostitution ban in America because it's against my religion to ban prostitution. And it's religiously motivated, the ban. And so I'm exempt.
Mm.
And they have a very hard time dealing with the logic of that position. Because they have to say, prostitution's illegal because my God says it's bad. And that's just too bad for them. Because you've got to come up with an ethical argument.
Mm.
And there's a lot of ethical arguments to make prostitution decriminalized right now.
Yep.
Right now we need to stop treating these prostitutes like they're second-class citizens.
And clients.
And the clients. The Johns and the prostitutes. This whole industry is now taxed, and it has...
All protections.
So vote for me. That's what I'm
all
saying.
Medicaid.
I'll make prostitution legal.
Yep.
Decriminalized. We'll get it taken care of. They'll be the fucking cleanest people you ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
Country City says, maybe, shrugs, maybe he is. It's nice that he confesses that. It's nice that he confesses that it's possible that we can convince him that our position turns out to be more loving. Because although we worship truth and we worship communication, I think from that love is derived. I think it's a derivation of those two. It shows up. I love it. I'm still in love.
And I love
Even-
to talk about it.
Even with the boring, with just boring truth and communication, I think love is derived. So, all thanks to Mitch's wife's voice, wink. Next time do and video show that cute voice on video. Until next time, my friend. That's very kind of you to recognize that I am being friendly to you. It's, again, two very, very good confessions in there, and a third that I suppose we'll talk about later. Two very good confessions so far. That, one, it is possible that you will be convinced by the words that we say, and the truth in our logic. And, secondly, that I am treating you like you're my friend. That I am being friendly towards you. And I do wonder if you would see if your behavior is friendly towards me. I wonder if which of us is the more friendly of the two. I wonder if I can yet call you a friend. Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to tell. Maybe you can tell us what a friend is next time you come by, which I hope is soon, you know. And I appreciate for you spending your Sunday with us. I know Sunday is a holy day for you, and you should be spending it listening to scripture, and I'm glad that you think that you were. Because I agree. And thirdly, it's nice of you to confess that you're jealous of my wife. Well, my wife is, sort of, you know, she lives a life of her own, and, we both work for a propaganda and pornography studio, and, you know, it just takes a little bit to see the patterns, my friend. I don't know if you've taken any Mensa tests, but I think you would wish that you were more intelligent. ILS and Through Trolling says, regulate prostitution, absolutely. Just like we're regulating weed. Oh, wait, yeah, first of all, not just like we're regulating weed. Weed is much over-regulated in Colorado. I think very much so. For the damage that it does relative to alcohol.
Or nicotine.
Yeah, it is not fairly regulated. But even if we could get it that regulated, it's fine. We can get it as regulated as, let's say, phlebotomy is. Okay, like let's have it.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Right.
Oh my god. Yeah.
There's schools you go to. There's things you do. You get certificates. So that's fine. Just totally and utterly legal, and destigmatized both from the supplier and those that would frequent these establishments. I think the whole point is, why is this the oldest fucking bigotry that we carry? Is that those who would earn their living with their sexuality are cheating? What on earth is that?
Yeah.
They're cheating?
Yeah.
No, that's a fair way
Yeah.
to play this game. Why are we denying them something that they would like to do?
Yep.
So that's
Hypersexual people deserve rights.
that's right. They are being abused like they're witches, and males and females. This is a wide world that is beyond the understanding of those people who worship only a book. If they would please stop regulating their morality, we could have some actual ethical, moral regulations instead of my book says. My book says that the whores hate the families. No, it's Jesus hates families. He says if there's a family of 5, he's going to break it up in his name. Whores don't say that. That's not what prostitutes say. It's not in the book of prostitution. It's like, now make sure that you break up that fucking family. That's not part of prostitution. You dumbs. So yeah, Country City. I don't know if you're listening. And that's why I think you're not my friend, is I think you're not listening to me, friend. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get to my notes, because I think he's gone for the day. Let's talk about the demon metaphor, okay? Because it's been proposed by a book that calls itself holy that there exists such a thing as demons. And these demons have been known to take over people's minds and speak with their mouths. And these demons have been known to be banished into swine. And 500 demons came out of one person at one point. And by the way, Jesus is liable for the death of those swine. Is that not right? He's got to pay someone for that.
Yeah, that's someone's livelihood.
Is that right?
They are now
Someone
on
got
the streets.
super fucked, and Jesus is like, sorry, demons, watching a... Oh my god. Fucking 500 dead fucking pigs. Oh well.
It's
Jesus.
like the Marvel universe.
Yeah, it's a
Walking
really...
around,
Yeah.
destroying buildings.
That's right.
You love me.
That's right. The DC universe that's what they're dealing with right now, is like the fucking collateral damage. Oh, so is Marvel too, right? Like
Yeah.
so is Marvel.
Yeah, one of
They're both on the tangent. Like, isn't that right? That like Batman was really pissed at Superman for he doesn't care about the damage. And then, in Marvel, it's like they had to turn their powers in or some shit.
Yeah, they had to be regulated.
That's so funny. And so the funny thing about film, one of the funny things about film today is that they're always criticizing themselves, you know? Like, it's a self-criticization, right? The dark side in the new films is Disney, you know? And the relationship is between the corporations and the fans, you know? Like, they have this hate relationship. And so, like, it's such weird meta self-criticism, and it's just like, oh my gosh, you guys really hate yourselves. I just consume whatever they give me and I say, I love it! And then the fucking people making it are like, they just consume whatever we give them and they say they love it. Like, it's just like so weird.
Yeah.
The strange relationship our producers have and the consumer producer has. Because the producer has no responsibility for producing good content anymore. Like, no one's asking for it. No one is saying, you know, I like what you're doing, but I wish it was a little bit better. What they're saying is like, are you gonna have another one night next week? Like, while they're eating it, just shoving it down their throats. It's like, this is nice, what's coming next? And they're just like, fuck! You know, like, the whole relationship is insane, right? And they each blame each other for it, and it's like, no, you can just make the art you want to make, and be like, but they want more, and it's like, yeah, fuck them. They're fucking crazy bastards. Give them good shit, right? And they're like, no, I've got to be on top of the pops, otherwise I won't be the leader of the free world! And oh shit, okay, cool. I didn't realise that was an important part of it. we've got to be number 1 or else we'll be like 2 or 3. I'm like, okay, Disney, chill out. Oh, man.
So.
Right? They're crazy.
Yeah.
They're just in yeah. Acting, everybody. Thank you very much. That's 2.5 years of high school acting. Thank you very much, Jim Bell.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, look at all these comments. Considering how sexual humanity and the closely related bonobo are, I'm willing to speculate that an early form of prostitution was one of the early professions. Yeah, I think that the saying is cute and probably true-ish, that prostitution is the oldest profession. Yeah, I think it's a fun thing to say, and I think the...
I don't know how consensual it was, but...
Yeah, you're giving me sex, and I'm giving you this, and you're welcome. Yeah, but, you know, prostitution. Or as I interpret it, the stripper factory. Right. I think that as sexual animals, we shouldn't pretend to be angels. We don't have to be asexual angels. That's fantastic. Why on earth would we behave like unicorns when we're
just
apes?
creating the sin. It's fucking straight up lies.
Yeah. It blew my mind when I learned about the bonobos. It helped me understand myself better. Hee hee. Wink wink. Oh man, you are a bonobo.
I'm gonna have to research that.
Uh-oh. Lil says, does your driver's license photo have a colander on your head? Not yet. Since I have been a Pastafarian, the driver's license that I've used has been the one that I got before I learned about the flying spaghetti monster. But that ends this October as my... It was going to end... I was trying to move out to California, and I was just about to get it out there this summer. But then it was like, oh shit, this move to California is not going to work. We've got to fucking move to Denver instead. So we're going to try to move out of these mountains into the city so that we get a upload download so that I can just stream at any hours and it won't interfere with sort of other things going on. And secondly, I'll be more handy to these very public places to preach. I'll get more content on the street. So that's how I'm going to benefit from it personally, but you know, it's motivated by many other factors that are not within my control. So yeah, so I think we're going to be moving here in the next few months or years, and upgrading to another studio. That would be very interesting. But to answer your question, so this October, my driver's license will be kaput, so I'll need another one, and I've got the colander picked out. It's a really good one. I'm not really sure if I have it picked out now that I think about it, because I don't know what I want to go with, because I've got one that I use on the streets where I put like some quarters in it to be like, if you want to give me money, give me some fucking money. And you know, it's a colander, so it's like, oh yeah, ha ha ha, and it fits on my head real good, and it looks kind of like a hat. It fits on your head really good, and it's black and it's plastic, and so it's like my working colander. But then I've got the one that I actually strain spaghetti with at my house for when I eat it, which I think is sort of very, you know, maybe that's the one that should be used in this photo. This is my colander. I am a Pastafarian. It is on my head. Take your picture. Like, you know, like that feels really good. But then there's also sort of like a really pretty one that we use for like, put fruit in, and so it looks, you know? So I'm not sure whether I should use one of my working ones or sort of an ornament one. But I think I'm going to use the one that I use in the street to collect money. That's the one I think I'm going to use. But if I don't use that, I think I'm going to use the one that I strain my actual spaghettis in. I think that that just down to earth literality, taking the puns literal, is sort of what Pastafarianism is. But, you know, I'm a prophet, so maybe that's got to be reflected too in my street work stuff. October, though, is the answer. That's when it's going to. Country City is back! You know, every time I think you're gone, you come back. That's fun. 700 subs, but only 7 sane people watching. That's not good, buddy. Country City, how many subs do you have? Advise you might want to spice your life up a notch. Country City, you'd be surprised how spicy my life is. Oh my live, like this live that we're doing here. You think it's not spicy enough? You just keep trying to get my girlfriend here on the camera. You're just trying to see how cute she is. Country City, it's easy to see how cute she is. Like, I'm sorry that you're not... I'm sorry, I cannot put all of these things in an hour, but you've listened to more than 1 hour of this stream, and if you are remembering some of the things that have been said here, this puzzle wouldn't be so hard for you to figure out. You keep begging for something that you don't need to beg for, is what I'm trying to say! I can't say it anymore! Country City, what are you still doing here? You said goodbye to us, haven't you? Well, anyway, Country City, we're waiting around if you have any questions today. We were going to end it, but you showed up again. So,
yeah, you always show up in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's okay. You do send a lot of comments while we're offline. Which comments should we respond to? Should I look them up right now and we can maybe I wonder how many of them are going to be about you wondering whether my wife is very cute or not. You know, I don't know how to say it kindly, but you've said it 10 times in 24 hours, and I wouldn't, want to come off too desperate, you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, my friend? I don't think it's going to work, how much you're begging, is what I'm saying. Do you want to go over some of your comments? Let me load this. Here. Let's see the entire right screen. Comments! Let's have a look. It's loading because of when we upload, it's very difficult. Oh, here's more likely spam. I wonder who this is. I wonder how many times your beautiful wife is said in here. Let's count, shall we? Is that prophecy? Am I a prophet yet?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they have the answers about God and things on this planet. What a very, very interesting and good and true point. I wonder, Country City, if you have ever thought to yourself that you...
Self-reflection time, Pastafarians.
Yeah. The thing shut down for a second, and it takes a little bit to come back up. So I'm just sort of reading some of these things and catching up, and binging and bonging. I think we have a friend here in the chat here who has not joined us yet, but has been a friend for a long time. I think, unless I'm thinking
welcome.
Of somebody else. And we're very glad to have you here today. We very much appreciate your joining us. We were just talking to Country City here, who is a Christian who likes to hit on my wife, that he's correct, that everybody thinks that they can see God differently than everybody else, and that makes us each a prophet, and we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Meridian Heights says, one of my favorite channels has 100,000 subs, or maybe 10,000 subs, and only about 12 people show up in live streams. I don't get a chance to tune in, usually because of the time zones. It's 3 a.m. now, and I have to wake up at 4 a.m. Hi, Mitch. Hello. I suppose that says the Whore of Babylon, though I cannot be sure. Please do tell me if I have the wrong end of this. I less than 3 trolling says 3 a.m. week, and probably a sin to ask someone to wake up at 3 a.m. That's probably an immoral thing to do. And any employers who are not, part of a very necessary thing like paramedics or something like that, who ask their employees to wake up at 3 a.m. is, asking for some sort of high control abuse sort of situation. Mm-hmm. And we can confess that many employers employ high control ease. But right now, Country City, Mitch is speechless from my YouTube comments. I'm finally waking him to reality. No, Country City, unfortunately you're wrong again. What happened is my OBS hit about 2 hours, and right around there it resets, because that's as big as the recording can go, because we're recording all of these. And so it resets right around there. That's why we try to aim for 2 hour shows, because it's very disruptive. And then it takes about 10 seconds to reboot. I'm not really sure. And so, yeah, just take a minute to sort of think. But, Good try that time again. Cool.
Okay.
Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. I understand that your life is very, very, very full, and joining us here is our incredible pleasure. And please don't let us make you late for anything that is important. Country City says, "Lol, no, just her voice only, nothing else but Mitch, always putting words in my mouth about her." Okay, all right. I'll try to stop saying how much you flirt with my wife. As 90% of books in general out there, are we going to read this whole thing? Whoa! You have a lot to say, Country City, 10 hours ago. What time was it 10 hours ago? It was 2 a.m. here. You're very... The late night you and the daytime you sort of seem to be different people. I wonder if they communicate very well to each other. Maybe does the daytime you stick by what nighttime you said here? Do you think that we should read all this, because you're much more glib in the daytime? Let's prove these. Cross is hate speech. It is. The cross is hate speech. The cross is the declaration that Jesus is the Christ. And that is hate speech, because you're saying that you hate what Jesus hates, and Jesus was very, very clear about what he hates.
And it was a lot.
It was a lot, and it was a lot of some of the things that he hated are not worthy of hatred. Some of the things being people of other races, people of other genders, people of other sexualities than the norm, people of other thought sort of frameworks. Yeah. And he said he hated them and he wanted them to be killed in front of him. And so your cross is echoing his hate speech, and you don't get to decide whether what he done was hate speech. You get to decide whether you use a cross to represent yourself. And when you do, that's hate speech. So cross, high five, cry, looking up. I've sent you a silver plain cross chain in the mail with no Catholic garbage chain with Jesus. Did you? Because what is my address? I will. Oh, I thought you said I have. Okay. But you gotta wear it. Why would I wear it? Why on earth would I wear it? You'll send it to me, but I have to wear it? How about we do neither of those, because they both sound like a total waste of time? How about this? I'll send you some literature of the flying spaghetti monster, but you gotta promise me to read it. You see how stupid it sounds? Do you not hear how dumb that sounds? As your dried up prune juice big mouth always offends me. As nobody was paying any attention to you, I went, so this is, okay, I see what's happening here. This is you watching my videos and responding to them. Oh, okay, and so this is like a running response while you watch the whole video? That's cool, I like this. Continue this. These are not spam. I really don't know why YouTube sends this. This is really nice. This is some very valuable stuff. I appreciate this. Thank you. Which one was your favorite out of the ones you watched last night? Is this not working? Did you like these videos? Which was your favorite? I think this Catholic priest one, right? Because did you see him come up on me? I really, really enjoy it when myth believers use their magical powers on me. Does that make me an asshole? Like, I really, really want them to. When I know that they are, like, capable of being like, I will exorcise your demon, I just dare them to. And that might be the fucking most asshole thing that I do. And I think I'm not going to stop. Right? I mean, I don't do it to, like, people who I know are sleeping on the streets, you know? Like, and by the way, when I was caught up in the holy noodle appendage of our creator the other day and doing penance for not being on my thing, see previous, see the previous shows to understand what I'm talking about. I saw a lot of people out there on the street. I spent the night on the street. I wasn't sleeping on the street because I didn't sleep, but I was there where people were sleeping, and there were a lot of them. We've let a lot of people down. So, you know, if we get money, more, like, because there's a chance that this stupid thing that we're doing for fun can accidentally make more money than it's supposed to. And in that case, we're definitely going to take care of some people, As far as, like, what happens if people take this more seriously than because I'm taking it more seriously than I should, right? And I'm afraid that some of you as well are, which is fine, because what do we do if we're taking this more seriously than we should? What do we do? The Whore of Babylon says it's not an asshole move. It gave me the confidence to confront my demon-believing relatives. I can put their faith to the test now. That's kind. You're very, very kind. Country City says, I do like your videos when I want to watch a comedy show. Thank you. I appreciate that. Please continue to watch. Back to what the Whore of Babylon said is, a lot of people don't speak up because they think there's no space for them to speak up. And so, I'd like to just speak up too loud so that people know that they're being too polite. The problem is not that there's no space for you to speak up. They're lying. They're saying shut up. And so I'll just be loud and they'll say shut up to me. And I'll be embarrassed and you can hide under my embarrassment umbrella. And if that helps you say more than you would have said before, then I've worked 1,000 days for you. And I'll do another 1,000 for one other person. Let's go help some people. So, thanks everybody for joining me. We'll be back tomorrow for another couple hours of streaming.
Yep.
I've got to go now and try to live a real life in this crazy, insane